Hello there, Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Rising. We're talking about your January of 2025. Looks like you're going to have some major decisions to make in your long-term committed love story relationships, or your partner is, as well as there's some significant shifts in your third house of travel and learning. So you may be all geared up in the month of January to enroll in some kind of course of study or to take an important trip or plan it. And we'll dive into some more interesting details. The most important thing, Capricorn, is the nodes of fate are actually leaving the Aries Libra axis, where they have been hanging out since 2023. That's going to be a game changer. That's happening in January as well. Stay tuned for the new nodes of fate energy for you as well. So welcome to, if you're new, and if you're one of my regulars, welcome back. Don't forget, this is my fundraiser time of year. My ho, ho, ho Santa Claus Christmas sale is still on. If you want to grab my 2025 video to time your best life using astrology, and I am Lori Lothian, and I'm using Western Tropical Zodiac, then you can get that product. It's in my description box below. And it is a fundraiser for new laptops, hiring video editors and timestampers for my channel, and new equipment for my channel as well. I do this fundraiser every year. I'm so grateful to all of you who've contributed so far. Thank you so much. These videos are 2 hours long. There is a PDF guidebook for each sign. You can get the downloadable audio and video version and a link to an unlisted video, many ways to access the 2-hour content. So go ahead and see if you want to support the channel. I wouldn't mind. The fundraising is still going on, and you got a 30% off sale right now. So check the description box below for the details. So Capricorn, I'm going to show you the sky, and we're going to talk about the sky in the next 25 minutes to 30 minutes maximum. We're going to talk about the sky with the focus here on the idea, let's make that bigger, of the big shifts of the planets and where they're going. And then we're going to break it down in the second half to the chronological order of the month. Oh, okay. Of note, of course, is that the North Node, South Node axis is shifting, and the North Node here in Aries on the 11th of January moves into your third house, where it will be till middle of 2026. This is where you're going to expand in writing, in communicating, in traveling, in marketing, in selling, in connections to your younger sibling, one younger, or your neighbors and neighborhood, and going to a new neighborhood, a destined change of neighborhood, destined travel opportunities, expansion of your online social media platforms if you have one. This is where things are growing and going for you in destined ways. So that's one big backdrop of the sky. Now also January the 8th to the 27th. Mercury ends a 2-month journey through your 12th house, which is very good for dreams and information from dreams and meditation and going inward, maybe doing commercial activity from foreign shores and lands, or two people in foreign shores and lands. But it's definitely an inner version of Mercury. It's like a dream messenger, like a psychopomp telling you what's true on the, ferrying the souls of the dead. And it's got a mystical side to it. So you're coming out of a kind of a hermity cave of thinking and ideas and maybe all that stuff. Maybe sometimes traveling or for study or learning to another country. That could have happened here. Now, Mercury in your first house, January 8th to the 27th, is indicating that you are now ready to start announcing things to the world. I commit to say, I am going to do this, or you might share some information with more people that you've been pondering for 2 months. Your communication is up, right? You're ready to say something. You're ready to write something. You're ready to rethink something or form a new thought. So you're so more sociable and funny and witty and charming than you usually are. Dana Carvey, for example, Mercury in the first house. A lot of comedians are born with Mercury in the first house. So you kind of got more of your wit about you, and you're more sociable than usual and communicating like a lot, right? Okay, that goes on January 8th to the 27th. And of course, you could be communicating about work or to your friends or to your children, but you're busy communicating basically. Now, we want to point out that January the 3rd to February the 9th, Venus will enter into her sign of exaltation, and that is the third house. Now, the third house is a place of amazing, amazing energy, and it indicates for you something to do with the idea of an increase in your travel or your learning or your relationship with your siblings or aunts or uncles or cousins, or even with your neighbors, that is beautiful, enchanted, fun, enjoyable, highlighted, with a Venusian charm. You could even, as a writer or a social media person, come into some great success with what you're writing or communicating in media platforms during this transit. So it's got a lot of juice for you. And with the North Node entering in here, it's got a quality about it that is extremely rare. It's not just the same old every year transit. It amplifies itself by the North Node voluming up the success in this part of your sky. It's a great time to submit a writing project to an agent, a book publisher, to launch a new website, to create something online that's new and fresh for you that you think could do really well. Now, there's a problem coming. Venus will bump into, but she's not here yet, right? Venus will bump into an enclosure between Saturn and the North Node around the 19th of January, 18th, 19th, through until February 1st. And that's when that's not the best time to launch your new thing, in my humble opinion. She's a bit between the rock and a hard place, a bit enclosed between some difficult energy. Whoa. And that's when you could have a problem with a neighbor, or some strained rock in a hard place with a sibling one younger, or some challenges with your travel and learning environment. So Venus also, third house is skills-based learning, and you could exalt your learning during this transit. January 3rd to February 3rd, enroll in a program that's really exciting for you for some kind of study in real life or online. It doesn't matter. Now, this transit comes back again, March 27th to May 1st, because of retrogradation. So it's not a one-off, but she's planting seeds January 3rd to February 9th. And so that's what you need to pay attention to, all right? February 3rd, what seeds are being planted. You'll go back and readdress them at the end of March through to the beginning of May. Mars is retrograding into the sign of Cancer. This is why in the intro I talked about some changes in significant relationships or decisions around them, or your partner having decisions to make, because Mars coming off the jointly held resources with business partners, mortgages, banks, loans, investment money, spousal support money. Mars comes off of that shared resources, financial chunky money, 8th house, where he has been traveling, right, ever since November 4th. Then retrograded December 6th, and now has to go back into the house of other people that you're connected to in order to finish some story up. For example, you now have to sign separation papers or divorce papers with somebody. You need to renegotiate or change the terms of separation agreements with somebody, for spousal support or alimony or something like that. You want to take Mars backwards, and he's going to be retrograding in your 7th house of other people till February the 23rd. So you're going back over old ground that you've been involved with in that 7th house with somebody else important to you, a spouse, a business partner, a legal contract with a client, customer. You want to go back to October. Certainly September and October, but October is more accurately the ground by which he is traveling back. What was happening in October with some significant other, and how are you having to go back and readdress it? Now, Mars separates, and maybe it's involved a separation. Maybe in September, October, there were also arguments with a significant other. And now you're going back to look at it again, what's going on here? What are we going to do with this situation? And it may connect to how you share the resources with that business or love partner. That includes mortgages and loans and bank cards and credit cards as well, and your relationship to those financial mechanisms and another person. Now, your partner may be making major decisions, right? It may be you're going to see that some significant relationship partner that you're involved with, love or business, coming backwards here, January the 6th, and not leaving, by the way, your 7th house till April 18th, and turning around February 23rd to go direct. There's a lot of change and flexibility and changing of direction in some significant long-term committed love relationship. And with Mars, that's the person you're with in business or love with the sword of separation or cutting in their hand. And it indicates that they are going through something in their lives that they have to cut away from, but they also may be pointing that sharp object at you and saying, enough, I'm done, or this is not working for me, or this business partnership isn't happening. So it's not really in your control. The cutting is being done by someone else. And so you're in the field of their cutting. And so there is some instability in long-term committed love and marriage type relationships with this transit, which is last happened in 77, 78. 77, 78. So you often have to go back in that time frame to see what it was like, because it's a similar time again. All right, now Jupiter is still in retrogradation and until February 4th in your Gemini sky, which is your health and work matters. It's also a karmic axis and it's connected to past lives. And there's going to be a lot of stuff going on. For some of you, you might have had some challenges with a pet or some changes in a pet's life. It's, Jupiter retrograded as of October 9th. So what happened with a domestic animal or a pet, October 9th till now? Jupiter started moving through Gemini the third week of May, expanding your pets, growing your pets, getting bigger pets. Protecting your pets, hopefully. Jupiter expanded here, rental opportunities and good luck. And for landlords, tenants, that's really good. Jupiter moved through here since, last May, and he's really opened up a lot of opportunity, doors of opportunity for work as well, and protects your health. So that's all been going on. But hey, he's retrograde since October 9th and doesn't go direct till February 4th. So there's not a lot of action there right now. It's kind of like in still point. It's like deepening your bounty is how I call it. So there's a still point, there's a retraction. Jupiter's traveling over September territory, what was going on in September, because it's going to feel like January is coming back to September with work, pets, and health matters, and health opportunities and work opportunities. And then Jupiter goes into forward motion on February the 4th until June the 9th. And that's when things really take off for work, health, pets, and rental situations. Like everything's clear. You got a clear direction to go. You know what you're going to do. Saturn until 2023, Mars traveling through. I think I forgot to give this part of the reading to my Aquariuses. Sorry, Aquarius. Oh my God. Saturn is traveling since 2023 through the house of your sibling when younger, aunts, uncles, cousins, nieces, nephews, travel restrictions, travel constraints, writing and communicating restraints. And he's just going to still be here. Challenges with his extended family, maybe some endurance tests there. He's still in the same territory, okay, until 2026. And that will be the month of March. February of 26. So that's just the backdrop. Let's go ahead and talk about the chronological order. I think for some reason I just did Aquarius. I'm exhausted from 4 hours sleep. I might have forgotten I'm Aquarius to cover this kind of big planetary stories. January 1st to the 4th, Mars is opposite Pluto, Duck. Now, this is a money axis for Capricorns. This is either determination, unstoppable willpower, and formidable determination to accomplish something financially. All right. But it has to be cut, end, and sever. I'm not going to pay alimony anymore. I'm going to get rid of that dead stock. I'm going to sell it and make some money off of it. I'm going to change my tax structures. I have a formidable will to do that, or some conflict and blowout and aggression and catharsis around a financial matter with somebody in your life, or your own money, like with the accountant, with the bank, with the credit card, January 1st to the 4th, the same energy comes back in direct motion Mars, April 27th. They may be connected in some way. On January 4th to the 6th, Capricorn Sun sextile Saturn, very beautiful positive energy to stabilize some third house matters and yourself. You want to stabilize. If it's Cap Sun, you're stabilizing career. Cap Moon, you're stabilizing home matters. Cap Ascendant, anything in your life. You stabilize something. You bring it enduring structure and form in a positive, easy flowing way. And it might require travel for some reason, or learning for some reason, or writing or communicating for some reason to stabilize something to do with work and career matters, most likely. On January 4th to the 6th, on January the 10th to the 14th. Mars is in a trine to Neptune, and this is very beautiful, mystical, spiritual vibe, kind of alchemical, magical energy, but it requires action and decisions as well, which is Mars's big wheelhouse. This is actions, decisions that are positive and bring opportunity connected to business partnerships, alliances in business, love, long-term love commitments. Mars is in a beautiful flow to Neptune. It could be a dreamy decision or action to travel with a significant long-term love partner, that you form the plan, you take the plan, you make the plan, or you do the travel. Mars is retrograde, so you guys have thought about this before or traveled in this direction before. Business partnerships get a beautiful glow up that involves fortunate travel. That again is January 12th to the 14th. On January, the same time frame, around the 13th, 14th, the Sun and Algol trine up. Beautiful sky here, guys. Sun, it's like, I'm in Capricorn, I'm your guy. Let's light this up. Let's light up your home and your career or your sense of self. You are in your yearly glow up here where the sun is shining through you. And then the sun shines through you and talks to this well star Algol in the house of wins. This is lottery wins, okay? This is gaming and speculation wins. This is a risky money wins, gaming to win, winning money, good fortune, surprise, Algol, wealth, shock and surprise. Another positive development could be an unexpected pregnancy or an unexpected development regarding grandparenthood. So there's a surprising quality to Uranus in the house of children, and it can also filter down to grandchildren. I'll share why in a minute, because eventually Mercury, the ruler of your house of grandchildren, enters to your first house too. So also a positive, surprising shock that you're going to be a grandparent. Anyway, when would that start to show up? The earliest would be around January 14th or so. But there may be a little delay. We might need Mercury's help, and that's coming up later. I'll talk about that when we get to it. All right. Full moon in the sign of Cancer with a Mars conjunction is very difficult. Full completion, ending, business partnership, long-term relationship. It is the scissors with a full moon, which is about endings anyway. So this is difficult. This is not a moon to tinker with. It can indicate a separation geographically from somebody that's important to you, or a fulfillment of some kind of legal contract that completes the deal and it's over. And a full moon here that occurs on January the 13th doesn't actually show up in one day. In the 2 weeks that follow, you might have evidence for the tonal quality, and at the 6 months that follow, it bakes in the potential for an ending. Go back to June, July. There were things going on in July in particular that connect to the inception points for this new moon that are back again. Is this about a separation in business or love, an ending, a completion, or a fulfillment? You could also end any legal situations that encumber you under this full moon and the 6 months that follow. January 14th to the 16th, we have Venus and Jupiter in a square. So it's good energy. It brings opportunity, but needs you to take decisions and actions to grasp it or grab it. Jupiter in the 6th house, Venus in the 3rd house. So Venus is applying to Jupiter. She's very powerful. She's yet to be besieged between the malefics. We'll get to that. So she's strong, and Venus is giving Jupiter a glow up. And he's in your work and health house. It's probably a work opportunity connected to travel. It could be a work opportunity connected to aunts, uncles, cousins, nieces, and nephews. It could be a work opportunity connected to the local neighborhood. It could be a work opportunity connected to things to do with learning or teaching. But it is opportunity with the retrograde Jupiter. Go back to things in September that might have been half-assed happening that didn't quite take off, because retrograde Jupiter says work opportunities from the fall are returning to you at this time. On the 15th and 16th, the Sun and Mars are having a fight. Well, that's you and your business partner, you and your spouse or your significant relationship partner, you and a client, and there is some disagreement here. So watch out for the 15th and 16th for a blowout with a significant other. Don't forget, we had that full moon. It's got the same energy just behind you. Then we move into January, the 18th to the 20th. Venus conjoins Saturn. All right, this is the second of 3 conjunctions. Venus will do this again next January. And last January. And this is only something that happens 3 times every 30 years. Last happened back in like 94, 95, maybe 96 or 93, 94, 95, somewhere back in that part of the sky 30 years ago. In essence, Venus is about what you desire, that you value, and you exalt. She's in her super sweet exaltation. And she's very higher love, higher art, beautiful, exalted beauty and art and love. And she's in a travel and learning house, and she's talking to Saturn and writing and communicating and marketing and selling. And she's talking to Saturn, and she says, long game endurance, right, Saturn? We're going to have a long enduring relationship that goes the distance. So something can be incited, a new beginning, a seed is being planted on this conjunction. And yet it's not about what happens on the day of the conjunction. It unfolds over the course of 12 months. It's a synodic cycle, a new beginning with travel, with expansion, with growth, with worldly success, with writing and communicating, with marketing and selling, with the online world. And that's a new beginning. And it's not a bad idea if you want to bake in this to start a new website, start a new business at this time, only when the conjunction is actually happening, not right after, because she will move past the 16-degree conjunction to Saturn and begin around the 19th, already on the 19th, to separate from Saturn and move into an enclosure between the malefic or intense north node and Saturn. She's wedged between a rock and a hard place. And so then things are like all this goodness and glory has a slowdown or a still point or a pause, is what I'd say. So January the 19th to February 1st. And it can be something good is happening. And because I can see stuff that's happening here, we just talked about it. It's like a work opportunity, for example, or a career opportunity. And yeah, there's this pause button. There's this wait, or like, oh, now it's really sticky. Now it feels like I got some kind of problem here, or it's not as good and glorious and lucky as I thought it was. That can feel like that anyway, from the 19th to February 1st, but do not fret because then she gets out of her stuck place and all will be well. And she'll be back here again. And it gets a little bit more malefically enclosed a couple of times later on, March and April, but for the most part, she's free and clear after this enclosure. Anything else I want to say about it? No, I do want to notice that we have a complicit, happy, charming Mercury. That's what I said. Mercury will get into your first house eventually. And that's when I think maybe as Mercury enters there January 8th, then you could hear about a grandchild, right, coming your way. But anyway, this part of the sky here is Mercury in the house of you, giving you communication skills, savvy ideas, charm, and sociability to be able to communicate something to Venus in order to secure the lucky thing that she's trying to bring that brings enduring, lasting results. So if there is a travel opportunity connected to a work opportunity, you might have to set in motion like a visa or passport. Mercury rules your house of foreign countries, visas and passports in motion in order to secure this job or this career opportunity. That's just an example. A writing project, Mercury rules your house of publishing, that you now have to set in motion some kind of agreements or legal contracts about it. Anyway, we're seeing that positive Mercury support here around the 19th of January. The wedge that forms between the nodes of fate, destined nodal axis on the houses of travel, learning, communicating, publishing, connected to Mercury, ideas, communication, marketing, and selling and merchandising. So it's a nice little glow up here around the 19th of January. And then on the 21st to the 22nd, Mars will sextile Uranus for some unexpected surprise. Always Uranus doesn't tell us what it is, so we get the jack-in-the-box cracker at the bottom of the jack-in-the-box, right? But there's a surprise, and Mars needs to take action and make a decision. Contracts, legal agreements, unexpected surprises to do with financial gain, including unexpected winning money. And now you've got some decisions and actions to take. That's one way of coding that. January 21 to 22, some kind of unexpected separation from a long-term committed love or love and romantic partner, or some decisions you have to make in a business arrangement or a business deal that are sudden and unexpected. And then, of course, Mars is flowing to, the sun across the way. And so there's something good about it anyway. You want this to happen. You're hoping for this to happen. You want this. Surprise feels good. Algol is a well star. So you're not minding this energy. You're enjoying this energy. January 21, 22, 19, 21, 22. It's in play. Pluto will be with the sun for 3 days, the 20th, 21st, and 22nd of January. This is not something that's that familiar to you. but there it is. And so Pluto Sun energy is a potent and powerful new beginning in wealth. Okay. And the ability to increase your chunky money in the long game as a result, meaning your investments, your retirement money, your shared resources. There's a power up around this. You are Plutonian in your earnings, and the sun is supporting some financial increase for you. It's the best way I could see that for you. Then we also have Mercury opposite Mars. You can see it forming on the 22nd, 23rd, 24th. Mercury is what you want to say, what you want to communicate. All right. So it's you. I got to get rid of that ascendant. It's driving me nuts. It's what you want to say. It's what you want to communicate. This is in your wheelhouse, guys. Am I still sharing? I can't see it. I am. So you've got the mouth, you got the email, you're crafting the email, you're twittering and texting or something. You want to communicate something, and you've got Mercury helping you, but you're having to communicate it to another person, a business partner, a client, and a significant other. And they're communicating back in sharp emotional words because they are hot and bothered in a tsunami of emotion. So they're not even hot. They're moistly bothered. I could call it a difficult conversation then, if you want. But yet we still see another wedge forming to Uranus in your 5th house of surprises. So is it bad? Is it good? Or is it in between? Mercury can rule negotiations. You're negotiating about some unexpected business or entrepreneurial opportunity connected to clients and business, business partners. And you have to do a serious, like real intense and maybe sometimes emotionally charged communication that surprises you. I don't know. January 24th. It's not a great time for a relationship, even with the trine to Algol Uranus. It's only good in the cosmic sense, right? Mercury trines Uranus and tries to support this conversation. Uranus is like, I don't give a shit because I can cut someone's head off. So it looks like it can also be very, very gnarly in a long-term business or love relationship at this time on January 24th. And you're trying to communicate in a solid, calm, stoic, mirthful way. And someone is on the other side bothered with emotional distress. Okay, next. For example, you could communicate to your love partner, you got a golden opportunity for your career, but it requires moving to, Russia. And your partner's like, I'm not moving to Russia. That's just an example, especially with the chironic wound to do with where do you belong? Where's your true home? And Mars keeps activating that chironic wound. And this time so does Mercury. So it becomes a kind of a T-square because you have to find your place of belonging in the world since 2019. And if you get some kind of work opportunity that gives you a place to belong or a rental opportunity that gives you a place to belong, then your partner just may not agree with this, belonging place you want to go to. January 28th to the 31st. Oh, no, I almost missed something. January 25th to the 27th, and Grace Triangle is forming in the sky. Yes. There we go. 27th. I got to get you back. Hang in there. Hang in there. Woo. Come on, Cappies. There we go. So there's a mini grand trine forming. I called a Grace Triangle. Brings really sweet, juicy love, opportunity, flow, and glow. So remember we had all that turmoil with a business or love partner. It could smooth out here. It could be that you get past the worst of it by January 27th. We see something good is trying to happen here. This is a lot sweeter than what we just saw. So because a mini trine is forming, it's Mars, some significant decisions your partner is making or the partnership's going through, surprises, but also excitement because you could, have a lottery win with this or some, excitement. Your partner says, I'm pregnant. And then we flow over here in this triangle to Venus. The only problem with Venus and Neptune and Saturn, but Venus she's still enclosed. So there's still something like, it's good, but it's almost like you can't get it yet, like Tantalus, you see the golden goodness of some opportunity that surprises you in the house of good fortune. It may connect to legal contracts and business deals, may connect to your sweetness of your relationship and your partner's chilling now, coming down from the emotional hotbed or swamp or whatever, that the emotional storm in watery Cancer. And now there's something trying to land, but it may not quite be ready. You might have to wait till February 1st when we get that darn Venus out of that enclosure. But the framework or the scaffold is being constructed here for something good trying to happen. In a love relationship setting, in a business partnership setting, in a travel and leisure travel setting, because of the leisure travel of the 5th house. And Venus is the ruler of that, Uranus, and telling him, bring good surprises only, please. But she's stuck between hard rock and a hard place. How good is she at managing that? Uranus, at this point, I'm not sure. We'll see. And finally, January 28th to the 31st, Venus is going to the sun is going to trine Jupiter. This is about golden opportunity to do with your money and your work. Money, work, golden opportunity, positive blessings in the sky. When January 28th to 31st. And then on the 31st of the month, Venus will be perfectly conjunct Neptune. This is a dreamy, glowy soulmate vibe, and you're going to enjoy it. Everybody would enjoy it around the world. The two of them are together, and she is in her exaltation. So it is very sweet. Downside, of course, she's still besieged between the malefics. Sorry, it's been like a day, but this is what happens when you try to advance the chart without being able to pin the sign to the side, right? I can't pin it in the software. It's a bitch. So Venus and Neptune will be co-joined. I'm not even going to try to get myself to the 31st. They will be there. Pretty close to the North Node, and actually in a triple conjunction with the North Node at 28 degrees of Pisces. So there's a beautiful energy on the 31st. It glows and flows all the way up until Venus leaves the sign of Pisces on February 3rd. It gets even better as she gets out of besiegement on February 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. It can be a beautiful romantic getaway trip. It could be a beautiful journey through some kind of enchanted writing project. It could be a beautiful get together with a bunch of spiritual people in a local environment or in an online meditation group or something like that. If it's romantic, which it could be because of the sextile to Uranus and the trine to Mars, it's a romantic oasis in the middle of the storms of the last weeks that followed. And that romantic oasis looks beautiful. Again, anytime from the 31st to February the 3rd. Finally, there is a new moon in the sign of Aquarius, which of course is the house of your earnings, new beginnings. A lot of this for you guys is new financial directions this month. And now we have a reset button, Mercury for commerce, commercial, marketing, selling, negotiating, Pluto, riches and power, new beginning. It may help you heal a chironic wound about where you should be living. It does have a new beginning flowing to Jupiter in the house of livelihood, work, workplace, bosses, colleagues, and coworkers. There's a new beginning. And you may see some evidence of this, job, career, luck, new beginning. You may see some evidence for it in the 2 weeks that follow the new moon. Like, oh yeah, look at that. The 29th of the month of January, this lucky new moon blesses me. But because Jupiter and the 2 weeks that follow, you may see evidence. However, remember, it could also take up to 6 months to fully fulfill itself. And with Jupiter retrograde, probably not fully until after February the 23rd, because Jupiter's retrograde, go back to events in September of 24. That was when Jupiter was doing something in the sky that he's going to try to stick the landing on as a part of a new beginning in your finances connected to work or health or debts or pets or rentals. And you'll see the evidence for that in the 6 months that follows this beautiful, lucky, and fortunate new beginning, new moon. All right. Thanks for listening, Capricorn. Don't forget to like, subscribe. Everything about me is in the description box below. You might want to check it out. What's down there? Patreon community, Substack. Patreon is where you need to go, or my Cosmic Moonshine Weekly Forecast. Subscribe to that. I write that newsletter for you every week about the week ahead, because if you want a reading with me, you're not going to know about it unless you have access to one of those platforms or get my newsletter where I announce doors are open, and they fill in an hour, guys. So doors will open for some spots February, March, and April, but I'm not going to be, I could announce it here, but it's going to be announced where you're going to get it first announcement before the public, general public, is on my newsletter and in my Patreon community. So if you're not in those two places, you're not going to know about it. So please check it out. Substack, I'm writing the Pluto Chronicles, everything about Pluto and Aquarius. A lot of the content is free. Some stuff is upgrade paid level, but the free stuff is quite useful. Got a lot of people there already, 750 people. I just started less than a month ago, loving it. I'm putting out a new article shortly on the weekend. So just before New Year's Eve to talk about the Mars opposite Pluto on January 3rd. No, I do not see the inauguration derailed of the guy who won the election in the United States. Okay, let's get going. To see you soon, and bye and ciao and sayonara. Thanks for patience with me. I'm tired today.